to N3 Nerdy News Now. Today we'll be talking about Rogue One, and specifically the new trailers involved with that. So be on the lookout for us in just 1 second. It's us, and you'll see all our URLs too, so that way you can hit us up on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and the other Facebook. Alright, we'll have those again at the end. So welcome to N3, guys. You guys, by this time, if you've been keeping up with N3, then you should recognize our faces. Well, why don't we start from my left, and then we go to my right. Introduce yourselves again, just in case people haven't been watching.
Hi, I'm Faith. I'm Garrett, your guest live streamer for this channel's little sister, and also a close personal friend to Richie and Jackie. I mostly play computer games, so I don't always know what I'm talking about here, but I like to give it my best shot anyway. Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm a 12th level wizard. Just kidding. I'm really into computer hardware and technology and stuff, which leads me into gaming and the greater technology front, like movies and such.
Hi, I'm Rich Alvarez. If you don't know who I am, I don't know what you're doing on this channel. But,
welcome!
Welcome!
Hi, I'm Jax Alvarez. I was raised by unicorns in a marshmallow forest.
It's true, I saw it. I see, there's pictures.
And just to clarify, yeah, Garrett is the guest streamer on the Twitch. This is the YouTube, however, so some people might not know that.
Yes.
But,
check out his Twitch then.
I can be my own person here.
Yeah,
see.
that's right. You are your own person here.
Faith?
Love.
People
I'm just gonna keep calling you Garrett's
on the
sister.
YouTube, you guys know Garrett as Rathnar from Stupid Mario. That's all they know him.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, he's good.
Twitch knows him as Late Night Elite.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Alright, so we're just going to hop to it then. Let's check out this Rogue One stuff. Okay, now we cannot legally show the trailer on this show, of course, for multiple reasons. One, because it would be tough to stream at the same time. And second, because if I have any copyrighted images or music other than just like a couple of still frames like this, then this video might get pulled from the internet. So that's okay though, because you guys hopefully have already seen the new Rogue One trailers, etc., etc., etc. There's the one that came out here in America 4 days ago, and then there's the international one that hit a couple of days ago. And they're both basically the same trailer. A couple minor differences. The second international one actually mentions that the person that they received the message from was actually Jyn Erso's father, which confirms, of course, that Mads Mikkelsen is actually playing Jyn Erso's father. So let us go into all of that crazy fun stuff as soon as I get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so just to open up the idea of Rogue One, I just want to say, first off, that I am super excited for Rogue One. I personally think it has the potential to be a better Star Wars movie than even Force Awakens, because when I think of Star Wars, I think fundamentally when everyone thinks of Star Wars, or when I say the hardcore fan base, I think thinks of the original films 4, 5, and 6, A New Hope, 2, Return of the Jedi. That era is Star Wars, and then anything that is outside of that era is kind of like, okay, it's still kind of Star Wars, but not really. Like, you know, we want the rebels versus the Empire. Like, that whole struggle is what makes Star Wars feel like Star Wars, at least to me. Like, I like the prequels too. I don't have like problems with the prequels like a lot of people do, do. But you know, obviously, I think the thing that turns off most people about those prequels is that they aesthetically feel completely different from the original films. Now, The Force Awakens tried to copy the aesthetic, the look of the original films, but then had kind of a completely different feel and had that J.J. Abrams slickness to it. And don't get me wrong, I like the prequels, and I also really like The Force Awakens, but there's something about that original era of Rebels and Empire, and that's what Rogue One is. Rogue One is a brand new movie that takes place in the middle of that conflict, and it's right back to the Rebels and the Empire, and it's about a group of people that are going in trying to steal the Death Star plans from the Empire. So again, I'm super excited because it's like basically we're getting a classic Star Wars movie made today with today's technology. And yeah, I will just gush about it forever. So let's get some varying opinions going. Faith.
I also think the timeline is an enticing part of it, but for me at least, I think a lot of the Star Wars charm that may or probably may not be able to be recreated in these JJ films is that Lucasfilm is just kind of the underdog. It has that cheesiness factor. It has that kind of low budget feel to it in some ways that's masked over. And I think in a lot of ways that is a big part of the Star Wars charm, at least for me. I've watched 4, 5, 6 like so many times. So many times. And the reason I keep going back to them is because it has the feel of a different era. And although, again, the storyline and the timeline are kind of in what we would call the golden age of Star Wars, or what most people would call the golden age, I think that charm can't necessarily be recreated, and it shouldn't be expected to. So, in a way, I kind of have a new set of expectations for this, new set of Star Wars movies, and because I know that charm is kind of specific to the decade in which Star Wars was made, but that's okay.
Excellent.
I'm super looking forward to the movie. It looks like a little bit more of like I don't want to say serious take, because all the Star Wars movies in their own right play in like a serious manner.
Yeah, within varying levels.
Yeah, but it's definitely much more like down to earth. It's not like we're following Luke Skywalker and his heroic adventure or anything like that. Or we're not like following Rey and her pursuits to escape. What is it? What's the name of the
First Order?
The First Order, yeah. Sorry.
The First Order or the last remnants of the Empire.
Yes. We're more like we're following a new person again. So like we did with Rey, but I actually really liked Rey. The whole not sure where she's from thing I don't always love, but I think they did it okay. But we're following a new character. I forget her name.
Jyn Erso.
And retrieving the plans for the Death Star, which kick off the whole taking down the Death Star, which is a very awesome and epic moment in the original trilogy, right?
Yes, of course.
I'm trying to remember everything because it's been so long. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. James Earl Jones reprises his role as Darth Vader, so that's going to be awesome. And I'm just looking forward to just seeing all the little call-outs to the original trilogy on top of adding new character and development to some of these guys who haven't seen the limelight. Some of them are like from the animated series and things.
That's why this is going to be so refreshing, because every Star Wars movie up until this point has followed some kind of Force user and been about Force stuff. This is following just a ragtag team of rebels. They have no powers. They're just sent in basically to die and get the plans. Jackie, what do you think about the movie?
I am not that excited for this movie. I know, right?
She's got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not that excited for this movie, but I know once it gets closer to December that I'm going to get a little bit more excited, more and more. And
I think you just have movie fatigue a little bit right now, because there have been like 20 like big blockbusters out this year, and only like 2 of them have been any good. So
yeah,
I won't say which ones.
It's like the movie industry is getting really good at making compelling trailers, but not good at delivering.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. I've been burned one too many times this year, so I'm just not going to let myself down.
Don't let me down. Yeah, and I can totally understand where you're coming from, but I think that you will be impressed by this movie.
Okay.
We've already seen Darth Vader at the end of this trailer, so we know obviously he's in it, and then James Earl Jones is back. And I heard that also they got a new bodybuilder to actually be the person in the suit.
Oh, cool.
Which is really cool, because David Prowse in the original 3 films was a bodybuilder, and he was huge, and he was Darth Vader. That's why it was always a little disappointing at the end of episode 3 when it was just Hayden Christensen in the suit, because he was like skinny-ass Darth Vader, and he really didn't fill that suit out at all.
No.
So yeah, they got this big guy in the suit, and then the voice of James Earl Jones is just going to be, perfect. And I just am 100% looking forward to, all of that. And again, I think with me, the only, if I could say, if there's one thing I didn't like about The Force Awakens, it was that it was maybe too joking. And too like, droid please, all that stuff. I mean, that stuff was fun, and it's good if it's only in one movie. But I'm glad that actually JJ has left everything. He was one and done with The Force Awakens, and Gareth Edwards is the director of Rogue One, and he absolutely is like if you saw his Godzilla movie a few years ago with Bryan Cranston, he knows how to take an existing property and make it like dead serious, and make it actually
it's
awesome.
Tough to make a giant lizard from Radioactivity serious.
That movie was excellent though. And yeah, I think that Gareth Edwards was the perfect man for this movie, and I'm also looking forward to oh god, now I can't think of his name. The guy who's directing Episode 8.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, what is it?
I know Colin Trevorrow is directing Episode 9, and that's going to be exciting because Colin Trevorrow also did Safety Not Guaranteed, which is a really I'm learning unknown movie, but it's a great movie. And then he also directed Jurassic World. So he's like the perfect guy for Episode 9. But yeah, for some reason I can't think of Episode 8's director. Do you remember Episode 8?
Oh, look it up real quick.
You know what? I feel... Yeah, you can look it up, Jackie. And then I won't feel so bad once Jackie looks it up on Google. Yeah, but, I remember a lot of people didn't understand that. People thought that, since JJ had come and signed on, people just, assumed that JJ was going to, direct all three, 7, 8, and 9. They're like, oh, yeah, JJ's going to direct it. But no, after... Rian Johnson? Rian Johnson is directing... Rian Johnson. I think it's Rian Johnson. He's directing Episode 8, and I think that he's great for that. For context, Rian Johnson directed several episodes of Breaking Bad, and he was instrumental in a lot of modern gritty TV and stuff, and I think that he's going to bring the right amount of that to Episode 8. So that'll also be completely different from The Force Awakens. I think The Force Awakens will be the funniest of any Star Wars movie we see.
Yeah.
Now that JJ's gone. And again, I was gonna say, I was talking to people at conventions. I go to conventions all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited that JJ's involved now and everything." It's like, yeah, but the JJ's actually out now. He's one and done. And I guess he could do 2 Star Trek films, but I guess and even though his whole life he's been like, oh, Star Wars. As soon as he was like, well, I guess I'm done with Star Wars. I don't know what he's like. He's too much of an artist now or something. He's got to do something on his own. I don't know. Whatever. That's okay. You know what? We don't need him anymore. That's what I'll say. All right. Anyways, yeah. So JJ is gone, but man, again, I can't stress enough how much I'm looking forward to Rogue One, Gareth Edwards, and just you think well, Gareth Edwards, why didn't they save him for an actual episode? And that's why it's Rogue One will be the best. I'm just gushing now because I'm just so excited for it.
Yeah.
But I hope that I hope that Rogue One does well. I hope I keep putting this down so I can hear get the mic better. I hope that Rogue One does well. I hope that Rogue One is a good movie, and most of all, I hope that people enjoy Rogue One, because then that'll open up doors for Gareth Edwards, and hopefully he'll actually return for Episode 10 or something, because they haven't chosen directors for 10, 11, and 12, although they have confirmed that those are happening. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I think Disney's going to keep making them for the foreseeable future. Yeah,
as long as one of them doesn't flop, they'll be good.
Any other thoughts, Faith?
I do agree that this last one, Force Awakens, was by far the funniest. I actually, when everybody was kind of gushing after Force Awakens, because they're like, oh, it's Star Wars, but it's new and it's revamped, and there's kind of some sort of pieces of actual character development. It's great. I almost thought that it was too much a throwback. It was too much trying to give the audience tidbits of like you said, droid please, and remember this line from this movie, and remember this one-liner, and this one-liner, and
remember this character.
Yeah, I just thought it was a lot of those stacked up, and if they had kind of chosen fewer of them, they would have been a little bit more impactful, and not been as much of a distraction from the storyline. But the storyline was, very similar to the previous Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
It was all just kind of the same, so I can see why they would kind of want those tidbits in there to kind of spice it up, because otherwise it would have been the same movie, but at the same time, I wanted it to be a little bit more serious, which is why I'm very excited for Rogue One.
I have to interrupt our talk of Star Wars for just one second, because I just noticed a comment by Sponge Caleb 847 Smith, and I only have to answer this because I was like, what?
I just answered it, but...
Oh, you did? I want to just personally be like, you know what? I had said that when I made the Plumber Knight Returns that the
Wait,
dark...
why Why don't you say the comment?
Also, I will say the comment. He said, "Hey Richie, I have a question. The Plumber Knight Returns sounds like a parody to Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Have you ever watched that movie? If not, then you should. It's awesome." First of all, The Dark Knight Returns was a comic book, a graphic novel, if you will, by Frank Miller in the 1980s. It is my favorite graphic novel of all time. It is also now an animated 2-part movie, but it was originally a graphic novel.
This 2-part movie's pretty good.
Why wouldn't you say, have you read or seen it? That's all I want to know. Have you read the graphic novel? Because if not, then you should, because that's awesome.
Richie pointing's rude.
Pointing's rude.
Okay. Oh, sorry. All I'm saying is, yeah, you're right. The movie is on, but obviously I have read the crap out of that, and I have seen the crap out of that, and that is the whole reason why I made Plumber Knight, because I'm in love with that story. All right, that's it. Moving on, back to Star Wars.
It is very
that's all.
good,
All right, Jackie, let's move on to Star Wars questions.
Hang on.
Oh, is she? She's in the middle of
I'm trying
typing.
to type.
Oh.
That's okay. Adam, do you have any final thoughts since I got put on the spot for a second time? I'm just going to
Okay.
throw the favor
Excellent.
over here.
Well, I'm super looking forward to Rogue One. I'm just hoping it does real well, just like Richie was saying, so it opens more doors for the director, but also for the idea of going back and fleshing out moments throughout the existing Star Wars trilogies, both of them. Having like a movie in between the two existing movies already that fleshes out like a particular moment that's like super glossed over in one of the movies. It's difficult to come across a few of them in my head, but I had an idea for like is there an animated Star Wars show? I forget what it's called. Rebel. Well, there's a few of them.
Well, there's Clone Wars and then there's Rebels.
There's one
Those
that
are the only two that are canon.
there's like one where it follows basically like a group of stormtroopers that are super elite and what they do, their exploits. I forget what it's called.
That was the last
think it's
season of Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. I'd like to see like a full-fledged movie of just like a division of hyper elite stormtroopers doing their business.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Just stuff that's set in the Star Wars universe, but isn't necessarily about a Jedi or a Sith, or even a movie centric around a Sith would actually be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Jackie, any final thoughts for you before we move on to questions?
Final thoughts is that I'll just have to see what comes out. Maybe one more trailer will get me excited, but I don't know.
Nah. All right, guys, we're going to move on to questions. And remember, please keep these Rogue One and or Star Wars related. Jackie,
Okay.
what do you have so far? Oh.
Sorry, everyone's saying that Faith was being a little quiet. So
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
I moved the mic closer.
Oh, that's the mic.
I know. I had to apologize.
I
Okay.
apologize.
So,
Oh, sorry.
there aren't a whole lot of Rogue One questions, so I kind of opened it up to just Star Wars
Brought
in
to you by
general
Dr. Matt.
questions. But we could maybe try and maneuver these questions about just Star Wars into Rogue One.
If it's about Star Wars, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. So, Sponge BBO asks...
Sponge BBO, what's up, dude?
Yay.
Sponge BBO asks, what do you think will be the focus for who do you think the focus will be for Rogue One?
Oh, definitely Jyn Erso. The trailers have built it up completely that'll be around her character. But I think secretly, though, it'll actually be about Darth Vader. No, not really.
Yeah, even though he gets 2 seconds in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah. I'd watch that.
He's just hype team.
Right? Oh my
Kind
gosh.
of. I don't know.
Gosh. What was the question again?
Who do you think the focus will be for Rogue One?
The focus will be for Rogue One.
I think that's pretty much the answer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main character, but gosh, I'm not super familiar with all the characters that are going to be in the movie yet. Anyway, I'm certainly hoping it'll focus on what's her name again?
Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso.
Felicity Jones.
Felicity
It's her
Jones.
real name.
Jyn Erso. Jyn. Can I just call her Jyn now?
Jyn, yeah.
Jyn. Okay, I'll remember.
No
that.
relation to Qui-Gon Jinn, though. Unfortunately.
Oh, darn. But yeah, I'm certain that focus will probably be on her, but I'm thinking that she'll probably be in most of it, but maybe not like a lion's share, you know? Like, they'll have a lot of moments outside of just following her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Faith?
Agreed. To both of you,
I
but
agree.
also I'm curious to see what other characters they integrate, especially because Force Awakens was so much about like, here's this character, here's this one. I'm not recalling the timeline all that well, and so I'm curious what characters are in what phases of their life at this point, and potentially how that would play into their integration or lack of in this movie. But I'm sure there's going to be at least one other character besides Vader that we've seen before, and potentially one that would play a focus as well, because I think it would just feel a little foreign if there was only one character that kind of was a tie-in to the previous movies that we've already seen, and then like everybody else was new characters, because we did get quite a few new characters in Force Awakens as well. So I don't think they want to do character overload, but that's just speculation.
Right. You guys can answer this at any time, but usually we have like multiple cameras and stuff. We're only doing a single camera this time, so just let me know, because we're actually having a lot less glitches this time because of that. Let me know, do you like the multiple camera stuff, or do you like it just a single camera like this where you can just see all of us at all times? Let me know at any time. Thank you. All right, Jackie, what do you think the focus of Rogue One's going to be?
I think it's going to be Jyn Erso. I wasn't sure if we brought this up or not, because we were bringing this up the other day, so I'm not sure if this was brought up in the live stream. The director really wanted Felicity Jones to play.
Felicity Jones was Gareth Edwards' first choice, and him and JJ had like a big joke, because JJ had then cast I keep forgetting her name, Daisy Ridley as Rey. And, they casted these movies at about the same time. And so when they compared notes, they're like, oh, we both got, like, little British girls to play our main characters. And they kind of look similar, too. And that was what led to the rumor that Jyn Erso is Rey's mother. Although that can't technically be true, at least because I think Jyn Erso is going to... I personally think, spoilers, I think that Jyn Erso is going to die in this movie. And Rey would have to have been born after Return of the Jedi. Technically, Rey would have to be born about 10 years after Return of the Jedi. Because Poe Dameron, played by your favorite, what's his name?
Poe Dameron?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
I love Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac is supposed to be like in his 30s, and he's supposed to be born like on Ewok planet Endor, like right there during the celebration is when he was born. So so if you kind of like work your way backwards, you think, okay, Rey has to have been born about 10 years after that. So Jyn Erso would have to survive Rogue One and then somehow be a major part of the Rebel Alliance without being seen in the original films for Rey to be her daughter. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's it.
Yeah. They might try some kind of tie-in for Force Awakens.
Maybe.
Like something loose.
Honestly,
or maybe give us more information.
I don't think it has to tie to Force Awakens. It only has to really tie to Episode 4, really.
Well, right, but I think they might try.
They might. I'm not against it, but I don't need it.
Yeah, like a small little thing about some kind of whatever, some tie-in with a character or whatever.
What?
Oh, anything else about that? Or?
Yes.
No. I mean, it's all summed up. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know if you guys can hear that phone in the background, but just ignore that. All right, Jackie. Next question.
Okay, so. I'm going to skip a couple questions because this question was really funny to me. Even though it was a typo, I'm going to say it the way it was written. Robotic Ghost Warrior says, since I've never got a chance to watch the Star Wars movie yet, I am a fan. How is Luke's mother? Well, she's great.
Yeah. She's awesome.
I don't know how to... She's going to be just fine, guys.
She's just sleeping, guys.
She's just sleeping. She's at a retirement home in the woods somewhere.
But I'm pretty sure he meant to say, who is Luke's mother?
Oh, Luke's mother.
Yes.
Who is Luke's mother?
In the you want to tackle this, or you want me to?
Oh yeah, real simple.
Sure.
If you haven't, did you mean that you haven't seen the newest Star Wars, or you haven't seen any Star Wars? If your question really is who is Luke's mother,
yeah, I think that
it is Queen Padme Amidala, who later becomes Senator Padme Amidala in the Star Wars prequels. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, she comes to her end in Episode 3, and the babies are Luke and Leia, by the way, are siblings, spoilers, and they are split and live on two different planets. And after birth, Luke and Leia never see their mother again. But yeah, his mom is Padme Amidala. That's it.
Yeah, he did ask, he clarified that his question was, who is Luke's mother, because he said, Darth's the daddy, but where's the mommy?
Okay.
Okay.
Watch the Star Wars prequels.
I
Well,
just thought
don't.
how
No, don't listen to Adam. Watch them. I've got a couple friends that actually prefer them to the originals,
Oh, no. He said
but
his
not me.
What?
He said his internet went down for a minute. What happened?
Oh no!
Oh.
Well,
You know what? You're just gonna have to watch this on the archive version
Yeah.
because we said a lot just now.
Yeah, Robotic Ghost Warrior, I'm sorry, we answered your question, and you missed it.
It'll be even
Watch
better.
episode 1, 2, and mostly 3. Episode 3 is what you're looking for.
Yeah, that'll be the answer to your question.
Could even watch this last like 45 minutes, like of episode 3. You'd be fine.
Yeah. It's also the fight's pretty good too.
I-
I have to give it that.
Best moment in the prequels is actually the end of episode 1 with the Darth Maul fight.
No, I think the end of episode 3 with Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting.
I have to fundamentally disagree.
I don't know. That's the one
okay.
time I could actually see Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader with that look he gives Obi.
I will bring peace, justice, and something else to my new
It's
empire.
just every time he opens his mouth, he says something that just doesn't sound like it to me. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
The next question is from David Music Channel. Richie and Co., aside from using beam swords, lightsabers, LOLs, in Stupid Mario Brothers, what other elements has Star Wars inspired from your own?
Oh, I see. This is like you've snuck Star Wars
Yes.
into a stupid Mario question.
You are, you
A
know,
little
the stupid
sneaky.
Mario expert.
All right,
so.
I would
But
say
I thought I'd let it go because
Star Wars has influenced Stupid Mario Brothers in all kinds of ways. Star Wars is one of my favorite things. And of course, the beam swords, even though the excuse is that, yeah, they have beam swords in Smash Brothers, they're obviously way more inspired by lightsabers from Star Wars. And I would say that a lot of the Nox Decius is obviously very Palpatine inspired. Rafnar was very Kylo Ren inspired. Even some of the character traits, I've taken a lot from Luke Skywalker to put into my version of Mario, and there's influences all over. In fact, if I go back to some of those older episodes of Super Mario, I bet I could find direct quotes that are just stolen from Star Wars. It's all Star Wars. It's got a very thin veil of Super Mario, but it's Star Wars.
Merlin reminds me of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Quite a
more
bit.
Obi-Wan than Merlin, really. Okay, I guess I was the only one that could really answer that
Oh,
question.
and your
Yeah.
the Force powers thing that you guys use.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
We have the Force.
All right, so the next question is from Super Mario Fan Bros. Says, what kind of role do you think Darth Vader will play in this movie?
I think that Darth Vader will be in this movie for honestly 5 or 10 minutes, but it'll be the best 5 or 10 minutes in the movie. They're all going to be like, we have the Death Star plans, hooray! It's like we think they've won and everything, and all of a sudden you hear, and he's like, you rebel scum will pay for your insolence, or whatever, and he'll just jump and just kill them all because none of these people are in the original movies, so it doesn't make sense for any of them to survive, and that's it.
No, I think they'll survive.
I think maybe a few of them might. One thing I will
They're
say.
just sleeping, guys.
They're not
Just
gonna just
sleeping.
kill off
Yeah.
the whole everyone and then be like, Vader wins.
Yeah, they will.
Fatality. One thing to note is the end of this movie is the beginning of episode 4.
Right.
So it will end with them taking the ship, Leia's ship, with them boarding it, right? More or
No,
less.
here's what I think. I think that shot in the trailer where Jyn Erso is kind of limping towards that TIE fighter, I think that's actually her buddy in the TIE fighter. They stole a TIE fighter. She's going to give the plans to whoever's in that TIE fighter. She's going to get killed, and then I think it's the robot, actually, that's in the TIE
Yeah.
fighter. He'll take the plans up to the Tantive 4, which is the ship that Leia's on,
Right.
and then he'll get destroyed because they think he's an Imperial droid because he was an Imperial droid, and then she'll have the plans, she'll give it to R2-D2, end of story. You know?
Right.
So I think it's going to tie up really nicely by everyone just getting killed off. But we'll see.
Jackie's
I
not
like
happy.
droid friends. I don't want any droids to be killed.
And it's what's his name from Firefly that's the voice of the droid.
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. He's like, there is a very small possibility of success on this mission. So he's basically the
so
C-3PO of this movie.
He's such a
Can you
cute
do the
little droid.
robot arms again, Richie? Oh, so cute. So cute.
The chances of successfully navigating an asteroid field are 3,621 to 1.
Don't tell me the odds.
Yeah. But sir, all right.
Perhaps they'll work that one in. Perhaps. I'm sorry. What was the question, Jackie?
What kind of role do you think Darth Vader will play in this movie?
Okay.
Sorry.
The end boss.
We're allowed to like this is our only topic today, so we're allowed to stretch it.
Tangent. Okay. Personally, I think Vader's role will be, I agree with Richie, a lot less than the other movies. I don't think they would make him the main antagonist for all of their movies. I think this is the potential to flesh out another villain, and I'm kind of hoping that kind of in the characters that they choose to use or not use in this movie, that they do make efforts to tie into both Episode 4, obviously, and also to Force Awakens, perhaps, if only because I think it would be a good marketing move on this part. On their part, because they are kind of catering to two different timelines in the minds of their audience because of, the new Star Wars fans versus kind of the original generation.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see the way that they handle that, because if they don't do tie-ins to kind of both of those movies respectively, even if it is kind of just tidbits here and there, I do think that they risk kind of confusing one of their groups of audience. So that's just my thought. So consequently, I think Vader's role is going to be a little bit smaller because although he does provide a tie-in, I think they can flesh out other avenues for a deeper connection.
Right, and I think that, I can't remember his name, but he's the one in the white Imperial suit with the gray hair in the trailers that we see. I think he's going to be like the Tarkin of this movie. I don't think that he's going to be Tarkin, necessarily Tarkin, played by Peter Cushing in Episode 4. I think he'll be another Imperial Grand Moff, perhaps, and be super badass in this movie, so we'll see. All right, Jackie, next question.
The next question is asked by two different people. Johnny D and Shane Wells asks, what was your favorite Star Wars episode?
My favorite Star Wars episode is probably Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. And it would be, when I was a little kid, I think it was Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, but it's that Jabba's palace at the beginning kills me every time. It's like that was exciting when I was a kid, but now it's just kind of boring. In fact, we just watched Return of the Jedi this weekend and skipped the first 30 minutes. We're like, we all know what happens in Jabba's palace, right? All right, skip to Endor.
Right.
So that's, so Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, perfect movie. Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Adam.
Gosh, put me on the spot for favorite episode. Gosh, I have to say, there's nothing wrong with Episode 4. I love it. It's
Original
so
Star Wars, OG.
Yeah, OG.
Faith.
I'm torn between 4 and 6. I like the original 3 a great deal. I've seen them so much. I actually took a sci-fi class in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, I took a sci-fi class in high school too.
Oh my
Sci-fi
gosh.
lit.
And
Yep.
it's like we spent time dissecting the hero's journey and dissecting each of those movies, and I have an intimate relationship with all 3 of them. But there's just something, it's like part of my brain wants to appreciate kind of the qualities that have been tie-ins to other movies, and the fact that it's really, really difficult to take this original trilogy and to build upon it in a way that doesn't really risk the integrity of the original movies, nor does it kind of seem like you're trying too hard with the sequels, as all sequels kind of risk trying to do. And I thought that, the movies did, the first 3 did an admirable job of doing that. And I do like how the first 3 kind of flush out the world more than the characters that are focused on 4, 5, and 6. But there's something. It's like my logical brain wants to appreciate the other movies, and at the end of the day, like, my heart is just like, episode 4, like, come on. So I'd have to go with that. Sorry.
Yeah, the heroes circle. It was like Robert Campbell, the Heroes Circle.
The hero's journey.
Oh my
Hero's
gosh.
journey.
And now I see it everywhere. And I'm like, he's like Luke Skywalker, except, Luke Skywalker wasn't the original hero.
It was Odysseus. Jackie, what is your favorite Star Wars?
I would have to say for Although I really, really liked The Force Awakens. It was very nice. Yeah, 4 or The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Good.
They're both almost the same movie.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Oh, snap. Next question.
Falkion said, "Who do you guys think Rey's parents are?"
Okay, well, okay, obviously everybody's like, Rey's Luke's daughter! But here's the thing about that. I don't know. I at this point, I feel like so many people think that Rey's Luke's daughter that Rian Johnson will actually, because basically JJ, just like what he does with everything, you know, that's why the Honest trailer is like, why would we expect the creator of Lost to give us satisfactory answers to unknown questions? It's like, okay, so basically JJ came up with all this stuff for The Force Awakens and then gave it to Rian Johnson. He's like, all right, you figure it out. So it's up to Rian Johnson to basically be like, okay, what is all of this supposed to mean? I don't think that he'll go down whatever path JJ thought he was going down. I personally would enjoy Rey being the granddaughter of Obi-Wan, and the way that that would work out is that chick that Obi-Wan was kind of dating in the Clone Wars show would actually be like, they got together, well, because they kind of hinted at it in Clone Wars. And Clone Wars is canon now. So, you know, it's, you know, they had a kid that Obi-Wan didn't know about maybe, and then that kid had a kid, and that was Rey. Who knows? It's just like, you know, everyone's talking about, like, how similar she is to Obi-Wan in that weird dream sequence in the middle of Force Awakens, how she hears Obi-Wan's voice. She actually hears Alec Guinness's and Ewan McGregor's voice in her head.
Sir
saying,
Alan Gill.
Yeah, he's like, Rey, these are your first steps. And let's talk about how she's, like, the only member of the Rebel Alliance or the Resistance who has a British voice, and that was so important in episode 4, how it was like everybody who was a rebel was an American voice, and everybody who was an Imperial had a British accent, because it was supposed to be mirroring the Revolutionary War. But Obi-Wan had a British accent because he there's something special about Obi-Wan. Even in the prequels, all of the Jedis have either lower class British accents, American accents, or alien accents, except for Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan has a northern high class British accent. So there's something special about Obi-Wan, and there has to be something special about Rey because she's the only one who has that upper class British accent, and she's not Imperial. Like, even they keep that tradition in the movie because what's his name, Bill Weasley, you know, what the actor, Gleason. Domhnall Gleeson is he plays the Hux in General Hux in the movie, and he is still the leader he's the general of that section of First Order, and he still has that northern upper class British accent. So they've kept the tradition going that Imperials have upper class British accents. So why would Rey have that? It's like, she's got to be Obi-Wan's granddaughter, and so I think she's Obi-Wan's granddaughter. Who the mother is? Oh, actually, I guess that doesn't really answer who her parents are. Just answers who her grandfather might be. But if in lieu of that, I have no idea. Adam, better answer.
Gosh. At first I was like, well, they're gonna pull the rug out from underneath us and surprise us in some way. And the first thought I had was, well, maybe she's just ordinary. Could you imagine that twist? No. And then I had a second thought, like maybe she's a child of the Force.
Like Anakin was.
Yeah.
Just born of the Force. A lot of people think maybe she's a reincarnation of Anakin. That'd be crazy.
Right. Like maybe she's just born of the Force. I mean, there's a lot of different directions they could go with it. I like his idea where she's in somewhat relation with Obi-Wan. But the thing about the Jedi Order is they're almost completely forbidden from all of that. Yeah. Despite how...
all that.
Right. Despite how successful Anakin's children were.
It's like that moment where she's tied up and she's like, you will never be as strong as Darth Vader. It's like I half expect her to be like, because I am Darth Vader. So I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Faith, who are Rey's parents?
I had never... although I did notice the accents, and we kind of had talked about that in the first couple movies, I certainly hadn't considered it with Rey, which is surprising because normally I would pay attention to that.
I pay attention to really minute details.
Yeah, you do. So I learned something new today. But with that in consideration, that probably now tweaks my original answer towards, maybe it's just that simple. Maybe she is Luke's daughter. Maybe that, path has been so... alluded to already that they might just end up going with it and kind of doing a different twist later. I don't know. Maybe she's just, I don't know, the bastard kid of somebody from the Empire and somebody from the Rebel Alliance. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like some kind of like. I don't know.
All I know is that Ewan McGregor has been talking a lot about making an Obi-Wan trilogy that takes place between 3 and 4. And I think the only reason why they're not jumping on that yet is because it would give away that he's Rey's grandfather. So, that's what I think. Jackie, what do you think?
I think it's that she's Luke's daughter and Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
Oh, okay. Jackie's going down the path of both, where Luke is the father, and then the mother is the daughter of Obi-Wan. So Luke hooked up with Obi-Wan's daughter, and so she is both Luke's daughter and Obi-Wan's granddaughter at the same time.
When did Obi-Wan have a chance to have a daughter?
Again, I'm just assuming he did because of his relationship in the Clone Wars show.
Right.
And if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, let me tell you something. There are some episodes of the Clone Wars that are better than like the movies. Like it's a fantastic show. And Rebels, not as good as Clone Wars, but it is the show that's happening now. And there's some cool stuff that's happening on that show right now.
Clone Wars
as well.
is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next question.
Next question is from Eskimo. Favorite part of both Rogue One trailers?
My favorite part in the second one was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
My favorite part in the original trailer from months ago was just the whole thing. I don't know. It was great.
Yeah.
Adam.
I have to go with the Darth Vader too.
Darth Vader.
I will say that little moment with the robot. I forget exactly what he says, but he's basically like, "I'm not going to kill you."
Yeah.
She's like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. It makes it seem like the whole movie's not going to be super serious because you can't do it the whole way through.
No.
You have to tell a joke once in a while.
You gotta have a joke.
Yeah, you got to have contrast, different things going on. But I liked most of the trailer. I couldn't think of too many things I didn't like.
Faith?
Sorry, I'm kind of in the same generic boat. I liked both of them a great deal. I thought the cinematics in both of them were excellent. It's really cool to see kind of how the technology is interpreted by kind of modern graphics. So that's pretty exciting because, I don't know, I have this weird, like, maybe it's not all that weird, but like when you see something that's from several generations ago and then you see it revamped kind of in the more modern world of graphics. Like the first time I saw the Enterprise like on the big screen, I was just like, I can't breathe. Like, so that's kind of a special moment for me when the cinematics kind of interpret something that you've kind of imagined but haven't really like fleshed out in detail, and then it's like right there in front of you and just like
The Enterprise.
Like I remember seeing that first movie with Garrett, the first the first Star Trek on the big screen, and I think I was literally crying. I think I was literally like, da, 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 and I'm over here like, and Garrett's like, it's okay, like we're 5 minutes in.
Just a spaceship.
Don't worry about it. So the cinematics are really cool. I really like the song in the second one, I think. The score, the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Exactly
it was kind of 2 steps from hellish, and that resonates. So that's
Nice.
cool.
Jackie, what is your favorite moment?
All those things that have already been said, but I can say what my least favorite part was. It was definitely those damn horns.
Oh, in the very first trailer. Brrr, brrr, brrr. Yeah,
that's
that
what
was
they
annoying.
sounded like before, though.
Actually,
In the
they
original
sound a little bit deeper than that. I noticed they only did the horn one time in the new trailer. It was just like, brrr, like the way it's supposed to be.
But it's like iconic.
No, Adam.
Jackie's like,
Because I remember that from the
happened.
original trilogy.
Oh,
That sound.
But again, in that first Rogue One trailer, it was they like heightened the pitch on it or something.
Oh,
It just didn't sound right.
Fair enough.
I would go into details, but it would be embarrassing.
It's just, it's not even the pitch of it that bothered me. It was just
The repetitiveness
the
of it.
repetitiveness of it, and it was just not
Yeah.
necessary.
All right,
In the
next
trailer.
question.
Well, it's an alarm. It's supposed to be grading.
All right, we're gonna take a few more questions. A few more
I don't
questions.
need it. Okay, so the next, there's only 3 more questions.
Okay, 3 more questions.
Oh.
I don't remember what it is either.
All right, we gotta
Okay.
quick answers, guys. Quick answers.
Sponge Caleb says. Sponge Caleb 847 says, "What do you guys love? Also, do you guys love the old Star Wars movies or the Episode 1 through 3 movies?"
Well, I like all of Star Wars 1 through 7, but I would say, of course, I like the episodes 4, 5, and 6 better than episodes 1, 2, and 3. I still like 1, 2, and 3, but I think indisputably 4, 5, and 6 are just better made, better movies.
Yeah. I like 4, 5, and 6 more, but I fell in love with the idea of what 1, 2, and 3 could be or could have been. I stumbled across this YouTube video. There's no way I could find it now, where the guy basically retells 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that's not impossible to find. That's just how episode 1 should have been, or how episode 2 should have been. That guy, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Or I think it's called "What if episode 1 were good? What if episode 2 were good?" That guy.
The idea of what they could have been, the history of what brought Anakin to becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah,
I love those types of stories, wherever I see them. But what came up on the film and what came up on the screen, 4, 5, and 6 went out.
Agree. Team 4, 5, 6, right here, of course. But I do think that people often discredit the first 3 movies, and they shouldn't, because I think that it has been a springboard for what's happening with the series now. And I also think that it gives a platform to appreciate the original movies a little bit more because they were done differently, and also because those movies do make an effort, a much greater effort, to flesh out the world and the characters and kind of the backstory. And that makes it kind of special because at that point you have an entirely new context for watching 4, 5, 6. And I think really that's what people have enjoyed, and really that's what has made the series so successful, because of that context. And that context can't exist without movies 1, 2, and 3. So don't bag on 1, 2, and 3 too much, people.
No, I agree. I feel like people over criticize episodes 1 through 3, and they really shouldn't. In fact, I feel like when episode 1 came out, critics loved it. Fans loved it. I didn't hear anybody complaining. It wasn't until years later that people were like, Gungans and, all that. It's like
people hated Jar Jar from the first movie.
I feel like not as much. At least like with people my age.
Well, why else would they tone him down for the other 2 episodes?
Some people did complain, but here's the thing though. I feel like it's the hip, trendy thing now to bash the prequels. People are like, Star Wars prequels, but those people can go to hell.
Well, there's a few moments in the prequels that are actually outstanding that sometimes trump the originals, like that scene with Emperor Palpatine and Anakin at the Opera House.
That's like
that scene
awesome.
Is great. There's a lot of little moments.
Of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah, that. There's lots of little scenes like that throughout the movie that if the whole thing was of that caliber, it would have been great. It would have been the best movie ever.
Excellent.
All 3 of them.
Jackie.
Obviously, I like the original trilogy more. But the new trilogy, I probably, out of all 4 of us, probably don't like it the most. But I'm not gonna bash on it.
Without the prequels, we don't have Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. All right, next question.
Okay, the next 3 questions. The next 3 questions are pretty easy because they're basically answered in yes or no's. So Luna Katz says, do you think that they will do a flashback of Leia giving birth or Luke's wife giving birth in the new movie?
Say that again. Say what?
Do you think that there will be a flashback of Leia giving birth to Kylo Ren?
Oh.
Or Luke's wife giving birth in the new movie? So obviously Luna Katz is on the train of Luke and
no, I don't think that was one of the disappointments with The Force Awakens, is that we didn't really see Kylo Ren growing up with Luke and Leia, and because even though I still enjoyed the movie, it would have been nice to have some context when he killed, spoilers, Han Solo. Because without that, it's kind of like, oh yeah, he was his son. But somebody did this comic where right before Chewbacca tries to shoot Kylo Ren. He has this like flashback of like when Kylo was a kid and like he was being loved by Han and Leia, and like him and Chewie were having like a big Wookiee hug, and like he was like, and in like that's why like so he had his crossbow, because remember Chewie has like perfect aim, so that's why he like remember when he shot Kylo in the arm. So the comic was he was gonna shoot him in the head, and then he had all these memories, and then he shot him in the arm instead. So it's like, I mean, he's shooting at the son of his best friend, you know. So I wish that there was some flashbacks in The Force Awakens that like really fleshed all that out, but unfortunately we never got that, and unfortunately I don't think we ever will unless they do a whole movie on that. But would it be nice? Yes. Will they do it? No.
I don't think they had. There's only that one scene in the entire Force Awakens where Rey grabs the lightsaber that was even considered a flashback.
Yeah, because Star Wars doesn't really have flashbacks.
Yeah, there was no real flashback.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's probably why it wasn't in there.
Yeah,
because they never really did one.
Okay.
I agree. Would be nice. Would kind of help tie up some loose ends. Don't think it's gonna happen. Also, yeah, big note.
Yeah.
Star
Well,
Wars
specifically just the giving birth scene. Probably a little bit of childhood, maybe.
Yeah,
but like just a flashback to straight up on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think that it's too little, too late. It should have been in
the
Force
last
Awakens.
movie. Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's going to be in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to show everything.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Next question.
The next question is from Chris Williams. What's your favorite Star Wars character? Mine's Chewbacca. Not mine. That was the.
Well, what is your favorite one?
Han Solo.
Okay, my favorite character is probably Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Because it just has the best lines. You know, anyways.
My favorite's Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
You guys are the bad boys.
Yeah.
I think Padme's really special in her own way. I like Padme. Although R2-D2 has gotten a lot of limelight, and I think it is totally justified. He's awesome.
The actor who played R2-D2 just recently died too.
Yeah, at 82,
Kenny
I think.
Baker. Let's all have a moment for Kenny Baker.
This is just
Okay.
really sad. This is a really sad few questions.
This is a really depressing one. Let's move
Yeah,
on. Next
okay.
one.
Moving on. So this might pick some spirits up. Stupid Smash Bros. 1 asks, do you think that we will ever see a Shadows of the Empire movie?
Unfortunately, no, because all of that is considered non-canon now. I mean, they could maybe try to have Dash Rendar as, you know, like Rebels is making Thrawn a canon character again, although they're having Thrawn in the completely wrong time, but that's okay. Dash Rendar, I don't see him working. Honestly, it would have to be a CG movie at this point, because you know he's so involved with like Luke and Han and everything that, like, since they're way older now, it wouldn't work. Would I want it? Absolutely. I wanted a Shadows of the Empire movie since I was like 10 years old. Is it going to happen? No.
Well, technology is getting to the point where we can almost recreate actors.
Yeah, it's true.
So like it wouldn't be beyond this movie to have like a guest appearance of Sir Alec Guinness in like CGI. It wouldn't be completely beyond the technology.
I just don't feel like I don't feel confident enough for them to make a Shadows of the Empire movie without Lucas on board. But
sure, fair enough.
Anyways, Faith, what do you think?
Certainly, it wouldn't be anytime soon if it did happen, because that is not the focus of where the series is heading right now. They have so much new content that they're kind of focusing on that they need to flesh out, and so much that kind of the main fan base is focused on that I think those kind of secondary sources of character content and story will get swept under the rug for now. And, you know, what do you do? You're now catering to two very large, very different fan bases, and neither one of them, because the movie is so popular right now, are the ones that would even potentially know what that is. So
10 seconds of context. Shadows of the Empire was a novel in the 90s that took place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It dealt with Dash Rendar. He's this cool guy who does a lot of fun stuff, and it was so popular that they made a video game for the N64. They made a video game based on a book. How crazy is that? And then they had a soundtrack to the novel. They somebody made music to the novel. It was a great time in my life. Jackie, what do you think?
Well, I thought that would never happen after The Force Awakens came out, that we would see anything Thrawn trilogy at all. But now that we are getting Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels, I think anything could happen.
Anything's possible now.
They might just take the good part of the ideas that they like and throw them into newer movies. Like characters and things that might not fit time-wise to what they were before, now that they're out of canon.
They really would.
I mean, if you have a good character and you have a good story, you might as well utilize it, but you don't have to follow it to the T.
Right. Okay. Is that the last question?
That is the last question.
All right, guys. I'm going to put the end cap on here. Thank you so much for joining us on N3. Remember, guys, N3 Nerdy News Now is every Tuesday at noon, at 12 p.m. noon Pacific time, every Tuesday, right here on the Rich Alvarez channel. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/RMAProd, Instagram at Rich M. Alvarez, twitch.tv/RichPlaysOverwatch, and facebook.com/RichPlaysOverwatch. And if you're feeling nice, you can go to patreon.com/RichAlvarez and maybe see what the goals are and check that out. All right, guys, I'm Rich Alvarez, and these are my friends. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Brr. Brr.